Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. We have 75 years of the Little Carib. It's on show and it runs until March 18th and it's happening at NALIS. This morning I want to welcome Sonja Dumas, who's the Vice Chair of the Little Carib Theatre. Good morning, Sonja.
Good morning.
How are you going?
I haven't had my coffee, so I look a little sleepy.
If you had 10 minutes, I would have given so.
I'm looking at your coffee, I'm getting a little jealous, but that's okay.
Sorry. All right, so let me say congratulations. 75 years, Little Carib Theatre. I mean, this is definitely an achievement of great reward. You know, how does it feel, firstly?
Well, I'm not yet 75 myself, but and I hope to get there and maybe beyond, you know. But I do really think that it's a kind of really wonderful benchmark for the theatre. Mm-hmm. It's an achievement to exist in a space that doesn't particularly support these kinds of small endeavors very consistently. It's a it's a good place to be.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and you know, 75 years ago, when the Carib started, I mean, it would have started under the auspices of Beryl McBurney. She would have fought tooth and nail to make sure that it happened. It was literally like her house or her parents' house or something like that.
It was the backyard of her family home, her mother's family home.
Tell me about the origin stories.
Well, it was actually before 1948, she used to have shows there as well, all right? And the stage, which runs now from east to west, was actually running from north to south.
Okay.
Right? On the, I would say that was the western side of the building. It was going to go north to south, and the entrance was where the backstage entrance is now.
Okay.
And it was initially like a dirt floor, and then it got a little upgrade. But Beryl did the upgrade, but kind of didn't tell the authority she did the upgrade. So, you know.
And that's been some problems.
She had some years of discussion, let's say, with the city council. Let's just say that. But in 1948, I think she just grabbed at the opportunity when Paul Robeson, the very famous concert artist from the United States, came down to have some shows. And I think because she had supporters, I think she had, you know, people high up in office, etc., who helped her, that she got him to come to the Carib and have an official opening of the Carib. It was chock-a-block full of people, which is a good thing because that means that, you know, she had the support, the audience support. She had the support, and then Robeson was actually supposed to just stay for, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and he ended up staying for the whole show and was really bowled over by it.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's part of the origin story.
And I know that originally she started it for the purposes of dance and folk dance particularly.
Yes, indeed. She was a teacher even before she went away, as Judy Raymond reminded me. Judy Raymond did this amazing biography on Beryl some years ago. And I believe that was one of the modalities that she used to teach people about their culture. And she had also gone out in the field with Andrew Carr, who was a very famous historian and researcher of our cultural practices. And I think she learned about those dances when she went out into the field with him. And she brought them back to the Carib and staged them, basically, so that more people, especially in the quote-unquote urban centers of Trinidad and Tobago in those days, would know about our culture. And then, of course, as we went towards independence, because she started in 48, but also, you know, moving towards that whole narrative of independence, I think that also helped to amplify what she was doing, because it began to talk about us as opposed to colonial dances, etc.
You would have been, I think from what I read, you were the driving force behind collecting a lot of this information that is being curated and put on display at NALIS.
Yes, but it's not me alone. I mean, I had a lot of help from different people. Ray Funk, for instance, who's a very well-known name here in Trinidad and Tobago, for a lot of research of our calypso and steel pan sort of heritage. He also was very helpful. Michael Germain, who was Beryl's nephew, gave me some information. Dawn Cumberbatch, who's also part of a collective called Caribbean Memory Project. And certainly the Little Carib chairperson, Shida Bolai, and the rest of the team, the rest of the board. We're like a team because we work as hard as ever. We're not just a board that sits up there, we just do everything. And a lot of them helped with different little aspects of it.
But tell me about the journey in collecting all of these things and all this information.
We started with the actual archives that the Little Carib holds at its offices, right? We went through that. There's a Fulbright scholar working with us as well. Her name is Ann Wharton, and she did a lot of the scanning for us so that we were able to get it in digital format, right? Which is very important. Ray sent down some stuff that he had because I'd mentioned to him that we were having this exhibition.
Right.
And so that's that. It was just going through those dusty archives and scanning them. We have more to scan, but we scanned what we needed for the exhibition.
Right.
We were also in conversation with the documenters, the visual documenters, the photographers, very important, of the Carib and its activities. So we were in conversation with Mark Lindersay, who had done a lot between the 80s and the 90s. We were in conversation with Edison Boodoo Singh, who's very graciously allowed us to use one of his pictures. Albert Laveau.
Okay.
I took the picture of short pants, and just let me know. I'm very proud.
Nice. All right. So, I mean, over the years, we've seen the Carib go through many changes. You mentioned it would have started as a dirt floor with the stage run in one direction.
Right.
Now, I mean, when I met the Carib, it wasn't like that, but it also wasn't how it is now.
Right.
So it also has been going through constant upgrades over the years.
At least 3.
Yeah. How viable is the Carib as a theatre?
Well, there are 2 ways of looking at viability. In terms of its being sort of the only real black box theatre that we have in the true sense of the theatrical description of a black box, which is a sort of 4-wall black the interior is black and it's very simple. It's not doesn't have a lot of trappings of big wings and so forth. I think it's very viable because it's the only one in the country, as far as I understand, in terms of that kind of incubating space. Yeah. And it's also a kind of, it speaks to our heritage because in that warm little magical space, a lot of magic happened for a lot of artists. And I think that in terms of that kind of viability, I think it's high up there in terms of what it still means to the country these days. Now, in terms of financial viability, there's the other. That is always the bugbear, right? And it really is that, of course, I'm not going to lie, we're struggling. Okay, and we're struggling, especially since COVID, because we're an independent theatre. We're not we got a government subvention, but we are not an institution like, say, NAPA or SAPA, that is a government institution or state-run institution, right? So that we have a different kind of business model that now does not allow us to charge the low rates that we want to be able to attract people because we have to cover costs, you see? So unfortunately, we are in a precarious position now. But having said that, I am tremendously grateful to National Gas Company for coming through with the funding to do the exhibition, to get the word out there, and also to teach children because the Little Carib is on the CSEC syllabus.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the curriculum.
All right, nice. So it forms part of our heritage or part of our cultural history. So it makes sense. Do you think that theatre and dance can be used as forms of education for our history and our heritage?
But of course, all the time. I remember seeing I think it was yourself and some other people talking about how does dance and carnival teach life, right? And so I know you agree with me.
I have to make sure you say it for people because they doesn't listen to me when I say it, so they might listen to you and you say it.
No, but you're so right.
So Sonja, tell me, how long does the exhibition at NALIS run until?
It runs until Saturday, and the hours are the hours of the library, so it will be 8:30 to, I believe, either 5 or 6 p.m. on the weekdays, and then on Saturday it runs from 9 to 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely free to go and check it out?
Absolutely free. It's right in the rotunda. You just walk into the library, and it's there.
Well, congratulations on 75 years. We look forward to 75 more, and even more than that.
Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, guys, we take a quick break. You want to go check out the 75 years of Little Carib on show at NALIS. It runs until this Saturday, so you definitely want to go check out a little piece of our heritage. When we come back, we take your phone calls, so stay tuned. It's in our morning show.